for 7th standard, chapter number 3. We are going to start with the topic religious synthesis or reformation. In the field of religion or diversity of languages and religion is an important characteristics of the Indian society. That is we call unity in diversity. Number of languages are there. Number of religions are there. Variety of pictures you have seen in these slides. So what are these? Now in this slide you can see secularism in India. So that we are going to learn in this lesson, religious synthesis. Synthesis means integrity. Diversity of languages and religions is an important characteristic of the Indian society. Now, the diversity of languages means different languages. The world has many different languages. This diversity had many factors. Now you can see in this picture variety of languages. For example, Marathi, Hindi, Gujarati, Sanskrit, Tamil. Variety of languages we get over here. Now diversity in religions means you can see variety of religion in India. For example, some people are Maharashtrian, in Maharashtrian Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, Sindhi, Sikh, South Indian. Means we get lot of variety. Different people we can see. So these are the main important characteristics of Indian society. Considering this feature, the Indian Constitution has adopted the principle of secularism. Now secularism means no discrimination against anybody, no any partiality against anybody. Okay, so in medieval India, 2 attempts to bring about religious synthesis in social life were made on the basis of this principle. Among these efforts, the Bhakti movement, Sikhism and Sufi sect have a significant place. These different streams of thought arose in different parts of India. They emphasized harmony between the different sects and religions along with devotion to God. So we are going to study detailed information in this chapter. Initially, rituals and Brahmadhyan were greatly emphasized in the Indian religious life. Now here rituals means ceremony or process which is always done the same way. Okay, in Marathi we do vidhi. Okay, so many vidhis we do at our home. We can say it's a religious rituals. Now next is Brahmadhyan. Now what is Brahmadhyan? We must have heard this word from in mythology. Brahmadhyan is a detailed study of divine. Okay, so detailed knowledge. So it is Brahmadhyan. All knowledge becomes Brahmadhyan. So here in the medieval period they gave way to Bhakti Marg. Now what is Bhakti Marg? The path of devotion. Okay, Bhakti means devotion to God. Okay, so Bhakti Marg did not give undue importance to hierarchies which further facilitated religious synthesis. Now in Bhakti Marg, it is a path of devotion. Okay, so Bhakti Marg never give undue importance to lowest to highest thing, means from lowest to highest. For God, no one is small, no one is big, no one is rich, no one is poor. All are equal. Okay, so God never do partiality. Okay, so all are equal in his door. In the different regions of India, we find different forms of the path of devotion according to the local situation there. The Bhakti movement used the common people's language instead of Sanskrit. This helped the development of regional languages. Bhakti movement. It is believed that the Bhakti movement originated in South India. The Nayar and Alwar Bhakti movements emerged in this region. The Nayars were devotees of Shiva, while the Alwars were devotees of Vishnu. There were also attempts to consider Shiva and Vishnu as one and the same and bring them together. Harihar idols, which depict half Vishnu and half Shiva, were produced in this period of a large scale. People belonging to all social strata had participated in these bhakti movements. They preached values like love of God, humanity, compassion, mercy, etc. Ramanuja and other acharyas strengthened the base of the bhakti movement in South India. They told people that God is for all. God does not discriminate. The teachings of Ramanuja had a great impact in North India also. Students, means God is one for all and God never discriminate. Discriminate means make partiality between woman or men and woman, girl or boy, rich or poor. All are same for God. So they were trying to spread this message to everyone. Okay. Sant Ramananda strengthened the Bhakti movement in North India. Sant Kabir is a well-known Sant in the Bhakti movement. He did not attach any importance to places of pilgrimage, vratas or idol worship. For him, truth was God. He taught that all human beings are equal. He did not believe in any differences based on caste, creed, sect and religion. He wanted to bring about Hindu and Muslim unity. He criticized the extremely orthodox people in both Hindu and Muslim religions in strong terms. Means, students, Sant Kabir, he never visited pilgrimage, means religious place. Okay, he never gave importance to vratas and idol worship, means temple and all that. According to him, truth was only God and all human beings are equal. He never believed the differences based on we always do. Yes, your caste is different, you are Hindu, you are Muslim, you are Sikh. So he never believed that caste, creed, sect, religion. According to him, all are same, all are equal, and he wanted to bring Hindu and Muslim unity. Their integrity, it was very important thing. He was also criticized extremely orthodox people. Orthodox means traditional. They never accept any changes. Okay, so orthodox people in both Hindu and Muslim religions in a strong terms, but still he was stable with his decision. All are equal, God is one and truth is God. In Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu underlined the importance of Krishna Bhakti. Due to his teachings, people joined the Bhakti movement in transcending the boundaries of caste and creed. Under his influence, Shankar Deva spread the Bhakti movement in Assam. Narsi Mehta was a renowned Vaishnava Sant in Gujarat. He was an ardent devotee of Krishna. He gave the message of equality. He is known as the first poet of the Gujarati language. See, they also used to think equality. Okay, they also gave the message of equality. Sant Mirabai stressed the importance of devotion to Krishna. She belonged to the royal family of Mewar. She renounced all pleasures of the royal family and immersed herself in devotion to Krishna. She composed devotional verses in Rajasthani and Gujarati. Students, you must have heard about Sant Mirabai. Even though she was belonged to the royal family of Mewar, she left that family and she immersed herself in the devotion to Krishna. She was also ardent devotee of Krishna, okay? And she was a royal family. She was from a royal family, and she devoted herself to the Krishna. It is very difficult and it is very big thing, okay? And she composed devotional verses in Rajasthani and Gujarati language, and it is very much famous. Her devotional verses give the message of devotion, tolerance and humanity. Students, we will continue next part in next module. Till then, bye and thank you.